Yeah,
grilling.
you twisted my arm to do this.
Well, I appreciate you letting me have the first one. I've been hitting you. I've been trying to get you to do this for a year, so
Hey,
thank you.
we're out here. We're out in the woods,
Yeah.
places we love, okay?
Mr. Hersom, you are pretty well known by Bigfooters, but nobody knows a whole lot about you. You stay out of the public eye as much as people want to get your attention.
Right. I'm kind of a private person. I'm pretty shy.
Yeah.
Basically a shy person.
Well, shy or not, you're responsible for a number of things happening in this field.
Ooh. I think that was Bart.
Yeah, we got Bart Catino doing a howl in the back room. Let's go back to your first BFRO expedition.
Okay.
You decided for kicks to jump on it. You were a skeptic. You didn't know any of these guys.
I way back is probably the Patterson film did get me interested, and I'd take trips up to the Pacific Northwest with my kids when they were little. I read a few books on it, and I always had an interest. But you know, being in business and trying to run businesses, it takes up all your time basically. So it wasn't until I retired. I retired in 2001, and so in 2006 I decided to sign up for a BFRO expedition, and the first one was in Wisconsin with Don Young, and I froze the first night. I bought a 40-degree bag, and it was 60 degrees outside, and I froze.
You come with pretty high-tech stuff these days.
Yeah, that was one thing. I got together with Matt and I said, hey, I got some bucks, okay, I'd like to do something to help, mainly in the equipment area, because I felt that if we can get a good video, that would probably do it, okay? And you know, so I started buying, I worked out a deal with Matt, and we got together and I started buying thermals, and actually spent quite a bit of money on equipment. I don't want to add it up. It's probably over a couple $100,000 on thermal equipment, cameras, and you name it. I just kept buying stuff.
So something significant must have happened on that first expedition to make you take that leap.
Well, there were some people who had some rock throwing. I actually haven't had any real close encounters, unfortunately. I probably haven't been on enough expeditions. I've only been on probably 10 or 15 all total. And so the second one, I had some close howls, which I'm sure were Bigfoot, okay? Because I know what coyotes sound. There were coyotes there. This was up at Bumping Lake in Washington. And they were going all night long. They put me to sleep, believe it or not. I said, I gotta stay awake and listen to this, and next thing I knew I was going to sleep with them.
You and I have been to this location, well, nearby, a couple of times now together. Is this the extent of your Bigfooting these days, you know, locally?
Yeah, I've kind of cut it down. You know, I'm, hate to say it, I'm 78 years old, so it's slowing down a little bit and can't get around quite like I used to, but I'm in pretty good shape, I have to admit. And I play racquetball twice a week with some friends, and do some Bigfooting like this. And
so, speaking of your friends, you know, you're a pretty well-to-do guy. You retired pretty wealthy, and I'm imagining you have friends of influence. What do they think of all this?
Well, my friends, same friends I've always had. I didn't change friends, okay? I don't pretend to, I don't feel any different than I did before. Except I am pretty well off. I'll never be able to spend all my money, but it's kind of fun to be able to help people and do stuff like this. And I'd really like to be involved in proving that Bigfoot does exist through the scientific community. Okay, most of the Bigfooters, you know, they don't need to have proof, okay? They've had their sightings, and once you've had a sighting, that's proof to that person. So, but it's not proof to the general public. It's still kind of it creates a laugh response. When I told my broker I was gonna start backing some Bigfoot stuff, he just started laughing. You know, so anyway.
Are you allowed to be eccentric, you feel, at this point?
I've always done things different. The things I get involved in are not the norm. A little off track a little bit. That's just the way I am.
And you've thrown money in some directions. Are you happy with the results that you have gotten up until now? I mean, and it doesn't have to be exclusively about what everybody's talking about, which is the Melba Ketchum thing. Why don't you speak on that just a little bit? Like,
well,
whether is it encouraging at this point? Are you
it's I am disappointed. Okay, I've been doing it since 2006, and I thought it'd be a little easier than it is. Okay, I do really believe that it do exist. Okay. That's what keeps me going. I think it's what keeps most Bigfooters going. Are
you going to continue to try and get more results there? Or are you going to go a different avenue? How do you see that going?
After Melba Ketchum, supporting her and doing all that, I'm backing off a little bit and just going to watch a little bit, okay? I'm not surprised the way it came out, actually. I'm, you know, she thought it was going to, hey, that's it. This proves it. The DNA is it, blah, blah, blah. But I always had my reservations because we don't have a body or a good sample to prove where it comes from.
Right.
I think that's the problem. That's what we got to get. Yeah, I believed her. I mean, I'm not a DNA person. Actually, I thought DNA was going to be more cut and dried than it was. It turns out there's a lot of aspects of the DNA thing that are questionable.
So we need a body.
Basically a body or a good part of a body that can be uncontested of what it is. When you look at it, okay, that is what everyone's been seeing, okay?
Yeah.
And here is the sample, and here's the DNA from it. And it can't be disputed. That'll do it.
You've put in quite a bit of funding into this, including putting thermal imagers in a lot of people's hands. Right. What's the next step then in the field? Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed in the thermal imagers. That, I mean, FLIR's, they're the leader in it, and they come out with their stuff, but I think they can do a lot better job, at least down at our level. Maybe they're doing it for the military, but we just recently got a thermal imager that would record on, you know, like a camcorder. There's a lot of people out in the field and putting cameras out just like we're doing here now tonight. And I think we can get all the video we want and everything. We can get tons of video. It's not going to do it. We've got video now.
Yeah.
And it's either it's usually bad video or blurry, and then if good video comes along, well, then people won't believe that either. It's just the video's not going to do it.
Right. So you've been privy to, because you provided a lot of these people with the cameras that are using and the cameras that are out there and the trail cams and etc. You've been privy to a lot of video material.
Right.
What have you seen that you like, that you think is worth looking into?
There still isn't a good video out there. I mean, Patterson film is still the best there is, and that's so darn long ago. Why can't we do better? I mean, it's crazy.
Do you stand behind the Matilda video or not? Do you have an opinion on that one?
Well, I saw that one in 2006 actually, and I think it's real. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And the Erickson stuff, what happened there?
Well, I think the Erickson stuff is legit, okay? And he was waiting for Melba's DNA to come out because he didn't want to, I'm surmising, he didn't want to come out with his stuff without DNA backup because he didn't want to say, be called it's all fake or whatever. He wanted to kind of do it as a package, but hers didn't catch, so the scientific community is not going to accept this unless there's a body. I'm just convinced of that.
So,
or a good part of a body.
Have you kind of shifted gears like a lot of us here and kind of feel like maybe an effort needs to be put into, and you don't have to answer this one, put into putting one down?
Probably. I'm not, I mean, I'm the opposite of a hunter, okay? I can't kill anything. And, but I think there's a lot of these creatures out there. I think it's in the thousands, okay? If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. I'm not giving up. So I'm still gonna go the approach of the DNA approach. I mean, unless we got one in a cage, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You can't catch these things.
Yeah.
You can hardly see them.
Right.
So, I mean, hitting one with a dart and tranquilizing, that's not going to happen either.
Yeah.
But we can either get a body or a good part of a body somehow. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it'll happen somehow. And,
so you feel we're getting closer?
I think so. I think it'll happen in my lifetime, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I hope.